Shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Yahweh be in the name of the Heavenly Father, who the world calls God. Yahweh Shai be in the name of his beloved Son, who the world inwardly calls Jesus. It's the brother Yaira out of WFI Indiana camp, coming at y'all with a quick cold cut through the spirit on what we can learn from the Maccabees. Right, so we going in to the first day of Feast of Dedication. So Lord willing, each day we'll be able to grab something and pull something from the Maccabees that we can learn from. Right, so we're gonna kick it off. We're gonna dive right into it and get one thing that we can learn from the Maccabees in First Maccabees chapter 2. All right, and we're gonna get right to the point. All right, this is the book of First Maccabees chapter 2, and we're gonna start at verse 17. It says, "Then answered the king's officers and said to Matthias on this wise, Thou art a ruler and an honorable and great man in this city, and strengthened with sons and brethren. Now therefore come thou first and fulfill the king's commandment, like as all the heathen have done. Yea, and the men of Judah also, and such as remain at Jerusalem." So right then and there off the bat, they try to use what some people will call peer pressure, or some people will call just normalcy. You see everybody else doing it, so you do it as well. All right, but one thing that we know about, Matthias and his sons were they followed instruction. All right, they followed instruction, whether that was wise counsel or straight up the law, statutes, and commandments. All right, real quick, let's get that in the law. Let's go to the book of Exodus. All right, chapter 23, because what the messenger tried to do was try to get Matthias to go off. And some of the things that he used to try to get that to happen was the fact that you had everybody else conforming to that way, or conforming to those ways, and conforming to the king's commandment. All right, but watch this. This is the book of Exodus chapter 23 and verse 2. It says, "Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil." Right, so right off the rip, that's a commandment where the Lord said we can't follow a multitude to do evil. So just because you have a large amount of other people doing it, that don't mean you go and do that. If you have a large amount of people conforming to the ways of society, going down the wrong path that the Lord didn't ordain for us, then guess what? Don't do that either. All right, don't do that just because it's a lot of other people doing it. Right, I'm gonna read that one more time and finish out the precept. Right, Exodus 23 and 2, it says, "Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil, neither shalt thou speak in a cause to decline after many rash judgments." So the point is, guess what? Hey, he didn't follow a multitude to do evil just because he had men in Judea doing it, other men in Israel doing it, and the heathens doing it around about. So let's keep reading. It's going to show you that. All right, so back in First Maccabees chapter 2 and reading on in verse 18, and it says, "And the men of Judah also, and such as remain at Jerusalem. So shalt thou and thine house be in the number of the king's friends, and thou and thy children shall be honored with silver and gold and many rewards." Also, they try to bribe him as well. All right, but let's see what Matthias said. Right, it says, "Then Matthias answered and spake with a loud voice, though all the nations that are under the king's dominion obey him, and fall away every one from the religion of their fathers, and give consent to his commandments, yet will I and my sons and my brethren walk in the covenant of our fathers." So what did he do? He remembered the covenant. All right, he remembered the laws, statutes, and commandments. He's putting the Most High God before anything else, right? And that's the first commandment. Thou shalt have, right? We'll get that real quick since we right here. All right. It's the book of Exodus chapter 20 and verse 3. It says, "Thou shalt have no other gods before me." All right, so you can't put any other god, idols, whatever the case may be. You can't put anything else before the Lord. All right, if it's causing you to go off into sin and so on and so forth, guess what? That's a no-go. You can't do it. All right, and Matthias, he called to remembrance these different things and actually executed it. And that's in like manner the spirit that we got to be moving in the last days, the spirit of being able to to be able to recall and to remember, you understand, these laws, statutes, and commandments. And not only that, but also the righteous counsel that you get from the scriptures as well, and righteous counsel that you may get from other people, you understand, who have a mind like unto thy mind, based off of the law, statutes, and commandments and the precepts. Okay, and not only know it and to recall it, but to actually put it forth in action. That's the main thing, right? No, after knowing it, right? Let me get that real quick. Let's go to the book of Ezra. All right, let's go to Ezra chapter 7. All right, this is the book of Ezra chapter 7, verse 10. It says, for Ezra had prepared his heart, meaning your mind, to seek the law of the Lord, right? So he prepared his mind to seek the law of the Lord, to learn these different things, so on and so forth. It says, and to do it. So not only did he just learn these different things, but then what did he do? He learned it, or Salaki, he did it, right? Meaning what, he learned the commandments and then he put forth the commandments. All right. He established those different things within his members. All right. It says, and to teach in Israel statutes and judgments. So not only did he seek out the commandments to learn them, but he also did what? Guess what? He did them. And then he taught people, his people, the law, statutes, and commandments as well. All right. So that's one thing, meaning what, something so simple. It may seem like as if it's so simple, but it's something that can take you a very, very long way, which is what? Following instructions. All right, keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments to the best of your ability, calling to remembrance your acts of your forefathers. You understanding the acts that the Most High God has done for his people. All right, let's go. Right to Proverbs chapter 1. All right, it's the book of Proverbs chapter 1 and verse 7. It says, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. Fools despise wisdom and instruction. All right, let's go to Proverbs chapter 22. All right, it says, it's the book of Proverbs chapter 22 and verse 3. It says, a prudent man foreseeth evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. So a prudent man, knowing that he has these instructions that was given to him, knowing that you have the law, statutes, and commandments, he's going to hold fast into those different things. He's going to keep those different things for him to be able to do what? For him to be able to walk in the path that was of righteousness to the best of his ability. All right. He's going to foresee the evil. He's going to see it. He's going to say, for example, it'll be something like, you know your cousins. You know your cousins. All they do is smoke weed. They call you over, hey, come slide down on the da-da-da-da-da. You know, and you struggling with that. You may be struggling with something like that. You kind of just got over that thing. Just got over the hump. A prudent man is going to say, you know what? It's not wise for me to go over there. It's all manner of folly, madness, and vanity that's probably going to be going on over there. And most importantly, I know they're going to try to pass me the blunt. I just got over this thing, or I'm still battling this different thing. It's not the wisest thing or the smartest thing for me to go over there and be around nothing but temptation. All right, a prudent man is going to foresee that and see and understand that, look, if I go over there, I'm going to fall. So the prudent man, he's going to see the evil. He's going to hide himself from that. All right, he's not going to put himself in position to where he's setting himself up for failure. Right? It says, a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. You don't want to be simple-minded. All right? You just somebody just simple. All right? Simple, they pass on. The simple going to look at a situation, same situation. They're going to look at it like, oh, I'm just spending time with my family. I'm just spending time with my cousins. You know, oh, I can bring the word out to my cousin. Yeah, you can. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Right? But do it in a different setting. All right, do it where you're not putting yourself in jeopardy of falling potentially. and being surrounded by all that different stuff. But it could be a thing where they might come over to your spot, or you might just call them. You might just call and talk to them over the phone. All right. And bring these things out, break down, or however you trying to deal. All right. But we got to make sure that we being prudent and that we being wise and being able to take instruction rather than being imprudent, you understand, and being a fool or simple. All right. Because a simple you don't want to be simple minded. It won't fare well. It just won't fare well. All right. It's the book of Hosea, chapter 14 and verse 9. It says, who is wise? He shall understand these things. Prudent, he shall know them. For the ways of the Lord are right, and the just shall walk in them, but the transgressors shall fall therein. You don't want to be a part of that, or a part of the transgressors that fall therein. All right. You want to be a part of the wise and the prudent. That shall know them. You understand? They walk in the ways of righteousness, not the other half of that. All right. So this is just one example, you understand, of something that we could learn from our forefathers, right, during the time of the Maccabees, right? And this is particularly focused on Matthias and him doing what? Not following the multitude to do evil, but instead remembering and thinking upon the commandments, you understand, and putting the Most High God before anything else. He reverted back to what? The covenant that our forefathers made with the Most High God, and vice versa. And he had that in remembrance. He had that in his mind. And that allowed him to be able to make righteous judgment, to be able to say, nah, though everybody else doing that, guess what? Hey, we're going to follow the Lord. God forbid that we should do this thing. And we got to have that mindset, whether that be in situations of peer pressure, whether that be in situations that you may be getting attacked by multiple demons. When you're getting attacked by those multiple demons, guess what? Hey, you got to have a mindset of, hey, God forbid, man. Right? You got to have a mindset of being able to recall and think upon, the covenant of our fathers. And have that same spirit that Matthias had, even though everybody around about him was indulging in these different things, yet what? Hey, he didn't. All right? Real quick, let me get this precept in the book of Sirach. I want Sirach 11 and 21. All right. It's the book of Sirach, chapter 11 and verse 21. It says, marvel not at the works of sinners, but trust in the Lord. All right. So Matthias, he didn't marvel at the works of sinners. Right. He didn't marvel and see everything. Oh yeah, they doing that. He didn't get entrapped by the simple fact of the men of Jerusalem. You had men in Judea going and following these different things, right? And conforming to the ways of the wicked king. You understand? The Greeks. Even though he had that going on, guess what? He stood on business for the Lord, right? And for his household, right? It says, marvel not at the works of sinners, but trust in the Lord and abide in thy labor. You got to abide in that labor, man. You have to abide in the labor of the Lord. All right. We all work for the Lord. If you in this truth and you understand the name of the Lord, so on and so forth, you getting these things together, keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments to the best of your ability, you work for the Lord, man. Why? How? Because you're a representation of the Lord. And when people see you, right, if you carrying and bearing the name of the Lord, then guess what? That's what they're going to think upon. So whatever they see you do, however they see you act, however they see you carry yourself, that's the representation that they're going to have of the Lord, man. And what this truth has to offer, right? That's why Paul said we're ambassadors, right? We're ambassadors for the Lord, man, right? So you got to take that, with a sense of pride and not wanting to let the Lord down, all right? It says, for it is an easy thing in the sight of the Lord on the sudden to make a poor man rich. All right, let's get one more in 9. I believe on 9 and 11. Right? It's the book of Sirach, chapter 9 and verse 11. It says, envy not the glory of a sinner. Right? He tried to, what did they try to do? And let me backing off of the previous precept in Sirach 11 and 21, where it says it is an easy thing for the Lord to make a poor man rich, paraphrasing, right here, or in the First Maccabees chapter 2, what we read, it said, and they was gonna give him silver, they was gonna give him gold, they was gonna give him all these different things, and he was gonna be amongst the king, and he was gonna be recognized as a friend of the king. Hey, Matthias, you gotta be like Matthias. You can't let that deter you, understand, your thought process and your thinking on serving the Lord. Right? Now you selling out, right, for silver and gold, man. When the Lord can take care of you at the end of the day, right? And it's an easy thing for him to be able to put you in a situation, right, that could be better than that. All right. It says, envy not the glory of a sinner, for thou knowest not what shall be his end. Right? Delight not in the thing that the ungodly have pleasure in, but remember they shall not go unpunished unto their grave. Right? Say they shall not go unpunished. All right. So, Lord willing, brothers and sisters, take this one thing, you understand, going into the day of Feast of Dedication, and be able to ponder upon these different things and apply these different things, you understand, to our own lives, that we may fare well in this thing, right? So, Lord willing, brothers and sisters, edify. Kwam Yasha Allah Shalom.